Welcome back. And so in this video we're going to add our final button, okay, as well as creating a class which will add some customizations to the buttons. Okay, so let's select a button and let's drag it onto the scene view. Okay, let's increase its width, okay, from a 50 to a 90. Okay, so now let's add a few constraints to the button. Okay, so click on the add new constraints icon, okay, and now let's add two constraints, so one to the width and another to the height. Okay, so add two constraints, and now let's align the button. Okay, so click on this icon right here which says align, okay, and then we're just going to align this button horizontally in the container as well as vertically in the container. Okay, and then click on add two constraints, which is great. And so now the button is centered. Now go into the attributes inspector and let's remove the text which says button and let's write add hoop. Okay, let's decrease the font size from a 15 to a 13. Okay, and again let's change the default color from a blue to a snow. Okay, so we've done that. So now that we have created a button, let's connect it to the code. Okay, so select this icon right here, which is for the assistant editor. Okay, let's scroll down to the bottom. Let's right click the button, okay, and drag it, okay, and then change the connection type from an outlet to an action, and let's just call this button add hoop. Okay, and then connect it. And now let's add our IB outlet. So scroll all the way to the top, okay, right click the button again, drag it, okay, this time leave the connection type as an outlet, and let's call this button add hoop button, okay, and then we'll click on connect. Great. Okay, so before we write any more code, I'm just going to explain the difference between an IB outlet, okay, and an IB action. Okay, so an IB outlet, okay, which is this, is just a reference to an element on the storyboard. Okay, so right here we have a reference to the button, okay, on the storyboard. Okay, and because we have this reference, we now have access to these properties. Okay, so for instance, in this example or in our game, we're going to make this button hidden, okay, and because of the IB outlet we're able to do so. Okay, now an IB action, well, an action is an event, okay, and so when the event is selected, what is the action we want to occur? Okay, and so this is the difference between an IB outlet and an IB action. Okay, so an IB outlet is just a reference to an element on the storyboard, and an IB action is an action to be performed when the event has occurred. Okay, so now that we've done this, let's write some code. For the add hoop function, when we select the button, what do we want to happen? Well, we want the basketball hoop to be added. Okay, so we're going to write add backboard. Okay, and so now that the backboard is on the scene, what do we want to happen to the add backboard button or to the add hoop button? And well, we now want this button to be invisible. Okay, and so all we're going to type is this. We're going to write add hoop button, okay, dot is hidden, okay, equals to true. Okay, and so if you notice, this is the IB outlet, okay, and because of the IB outlet we have reference to the is hidden property. So let's select the button and the property is right here. Okay, so we have access to the hidden property and we've set it to true. Okay, so now that we've done this, let's change a few things. Okay, so let's go to the viewDidLoad function and let's remove the method call. Okay, so let's remove that. Okay, that's it. That is pretty much it. Okay, so let's run our game and let's see what we've created. Okay, So let's select the button to add the hoop. And there we go. That is good. That's really good. So let's shoot. Okay, let's try to score. Great. Okay, let's start a action. Let's start the rotation action. And it works. This is so cool. Can we score again? Maybe not. Yes. Let's stop the action now. Okay, that's great. Can we score from here? Oh, nice. Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay, this is good. This is really, really, really good. Okay, so now that we've done this, let's create the class which will allow us to customize the buttons. Okay, so to do this, let's enable the single view again. And now let's select this folder right here, so the AR basketball folder. Okay, and then let's right click and then click on new file. Okay, and the new file we're going to add is going to be a Coca Touch class. Okay, so select it and then click on next, and let's call this class custom button or buttons. Okay, and then we'll click on next. Wait, before we do that, let's make sure that the custom button class is a subclass of UI button. Okay, so if you see something else, just type in UI button. Okay, and then once you have UI button, click on next. Okay, click on create. Okay, so the first customization we want to add to the buttons is a background color. Okay, the second is curvature of the corners. Okay, the third is a border. Okay, and then the fourth is a border color. Okay, and so to add these customizations, what we need to write is this. We need to write awake from nib, and this function is the function that allows us to provide custom functionalities to the buttons. Okay, and so the code we're going to write is super.awake from nib. Okay, and now we're going to conduct our own function call. So we're going to write customize buttons, so CUSTOMIZE buttons. Okay, and so now that we have conducted the function call, let's create the function. Okay, and so all we're going to type is this. We're going to write function, okay, customize buttons. Okay, and so customize buttons is going to be a function which takes in no arguments. And so to add the background color, we're going to write this. Background color, okay, equals UI color dot light gray. Okay, and so this is going to be the background color. And then for the curvature of the corners, we're going to write this. We're going to write layer, okay, dot corner radius, okay, and we're going to pass in the value of 10.0, okay, and this will deal with the curvature of the buttons. Okay, and then to add a border to the buttons, we're going to write this. We're going to write layer dot border width, okay, and we're going to pass in the value of 2.0, okay, and so now the buttons are going to have a border of 2 pixels. And now for the border color, we're going to write layer dot border color, okay, equals UI color dot white, okay, dot CG color, okay, and this is the code to customize the buttons. Okay, so let's save it. Okay, let's go back onto the storyboard, and now let's apply the class to the buttons. Okay, so select the button, okay, and then go onto the identity inspector, which is this icon right here, and then change the class from nil, okay, to custom buttons. Okay, and let's do this for all the buttons. So custom buttons, okay, and then for the last button, great. Great. Okay, so let's rerun the game and let's see the customizations. The buttons look much better, right? Much better. And one more thing. So let's pause the game first And let's comment out the show statistics statement, okay? And then once we've done this, let's click on play, or let's click on build. Now it looks much better. Okay, so let's add the hoop. Nice. Okay, let's try to shoot. Oh, yes, 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 yes. Okay, another one, maybe not. What about the third time? Great. Let's start the horizontal action. Okay, great. And let's see if we can shoot. Oh, yes, nice, we got it in. Okay, let's stop it. Now let's start the round action. Oh my days, this is so cool. Let's shoot. Oh, yes! Okay, let's stop it. Oh, great. This is fantastic. This is fantastic. Okay, and so this is going to be it for this video. And I hope you've had fun because, you know, this has really been a cool app. And so I'll see you all in the next section. Thank you.